All right, good Tuesday evening, everybody. It has been a warm couple of days in central Mississippi, and I think we're going to see at least a couple more that are going to be so warm that we could be near record highs both Wednesday and Thursday. Now, today, warm but not near record, only because the record for today is 87 degrees. But take a look at Jackson, 82 here, also there in Vicksburg, 83 in Greenwood, 81 in Macomb, and the high temperature today in Hattiesburg was 85 degrees, and we did have a heat index today, a couple of degrees higher than the temperature because the humidity is so high. Dew points have been running in the mid-60s, and I don't expect that to change because we're going to continue to see a south wind coming off the Gulf. Now, that south breeze is feeding moisture into this storm up to the north of us, which has been producing rain today in the Ohio River Valley, and now that is spreading eastward into the mid-Atlantic. We're not going to get anything out of it. The associated cold front will go stationary well to the north of us. So while clouds are going to be increasing, we're not expecting anything in the way of rain until we get to Friday. So it's just going to be a warm night at this very late hour at 11 p.m. It is still 71 degrees with dew points in the mid-60s. Now, the temperature is expected to drop into the 60s tonight, and in some cases, the temperature and the dew point are going to be either very close or matching, which means we have the potential for some fog out there. I say the potential because the limiting factor here is going to be the fact that our winds are still pretty brisk, coming in from the south now at about 9 miles per hour. If we continue with a south wind overnight at 5 to 10 miles per hour, we're not going to get fog. The wind breaks up the fog. But if winds can relax a little bit, then fog is a possibility. And that's more likely in South Mississippi because they're going to be closer to an area of high pressure, which is down in the northern Gulf. So winds are going to be a little bit lighter down there. And because of that, well, a dense fog advisory has been issued for our southern counties where the temperature tonight is going to be dropping into the low 60s. So the dense fog advisory is going to start at 4 a.m., go until mid-morning tomorrow, 9 a.m., for the gray shaded area, which is all of the Pine Belt and points west to include places like Lincoln County, Pike County, Wilkinson and Mint, Franklin, Jefferson, and Adams counties. So all the way through the southwestern part of the state. So just keep in mind the visibility could be reduced tomorrow to a quarter of a mile or less right around sunrise. So if you get up early to go to work and your morning commute is earlier than most of us, when the sun is coming up, that's when you can run into those patches of fog, especially if you live south of Jackson, if you live in Laurel or Hattiesburg or Columbia or Natchez or Brookhaven, those areas. So be careful. If you do see fog in the morning, keep those beams on low and put plenty of space between you and the person out ahead of you, and you should be okay. Now, once the sun comes up, of course, temperature is going to warm up, and when we get a separation between the temperature and the dew point, the fog dissipates. So we're going to see limited sun tomorrow, but also a lot of clouds too. We're going to call it a mix of sun and clouds, partly sunny in the afternoon. And remember, we're going to keep that south breeze, so it's going to be warm again, at least as warm as it was today, if not even warmer. So we're thinking really anywhere between 80 and 85. We're forecasting 83 in the metro, 84, 85 down around the Pine Belt. And it stays warm through Thursday like that. Friday is our transition day weather-wise. That's the day a front comes through with a good chance of rain, and then after the rain, we will see a cooling trend for the weekend, but we're only going to cool down about 10 degrees on average. So yeah, it's a good 10-degree cool down, but even 73 on Sunday is above normal for late November. So even over the next 8 days, we're expecting above average temperatures. It'll be so warm tomorrow that, again, records could fall. This is a look at the potential for record highs tomorrow, Wednesday, which is November the 19th. On the left there, we have the forecasted high temperatures for these selected cities. On the right, we have the current records for November the 19th. Now, in Jackson, the record is 86. We're forecasting 83. I don't think we're going to get to 86 tomorrow, so I think that record is okay, but look at Hattiesburg. We're forecasting 84, and the record is 84. In Vicksburg, we're forecasting 82, and the record is 82. Skip down to Carthage, we're forecasting 82, and the record is 81. So yeah, I think some records are going to fall tomorrow, and then the next day is Jackson's best chance to tie or break a record, because on November the 20th, the record high in Jackson is 82, so just a couple of years ago, back in 2023, and we're forecasting 82 for a high Thursday. It really depends on how much cloud cover we see. We are expecting mostly cloudy skies Thursday, so if the clouds are thick enough, we may not get to 82, but if we get enough sun, then we could break that record high. All right, so here's a look at that storm to the north of us. Notice all the rain is going to be in the mid-Atlantic. That front goes stationary in extreme north Mississippi. So we are going to be on the south side of the front with that continued south breeze and the very humid conditions. And notice that high pressure down around the Gulf Coast. That's why winds are going to be a little bit lighter down there. Now, clouds will be increasing Thursday. Still no rain Thursday, but definitely more clouds. And that's ahead of the next weather maker, which is scheduled to come in on your Friday. Thinking most of the rain is going to be Friday afternoon, evening, and then lingering into the overnight, coming to an end by Saturday morning. I think the rain is going to be widespread. Right now we're calling for a 70% chance, but that could go up even more. And most places are going to pick up at least about a half inch to about an inch of rain, with a few spots potentially getting even more than that. You see the purple shaded areas, that's where we could pick up maybe an inch to an inch and a half of rain as we go through Friday and into early Saturday morning. So here's our forecast for tonight. Lots of clouds, fog to the south. We're going to see a low temperature of 63, and then for Wednesday, partly sunny, warm and muggy for November the 19th, 83 with a heat index possibly up to about 85. We're going to see a light southwest wind, and your sun goes down about 2 minutes before 5 o'clock. So Thursday, mostly cloudy, but still we could tie a record high that day at 82. We get the rain Friday. There could be a few thunderstorms in the mix, but right now we're not anticipating severe weather. If that changes, of course, we will let you know, but right now I think we're okay on that score. The rain comes to an end early Saturday. The rest of the weekend should be just fine, partly sunny, and yes, cooler than it is now, but not chilly by any stretch of the imagination. We're looking at lows in the 50s and highs in the mid-70s as we go through next week, which is again above the average high. I believe the average high for this time of the year is about 66. So even next week when we cool down 10 degrees, we're still 10 degrees above normal, which is nuts. So the next chance of rain is going to be coming in Tuesday, about a 40% chance of thunderstorms, and we'll keep you posted on that. I think we're going to see a couple of storms next week, potentially Tuesday, and then a little bit closer to Thanksgiving, potentially. So, again, we will keep you posted on next week because, of course, the holiday is coming up. But what you should know is Friday's going to be wet, and the weekend mostly looks good at this point. All right, that is your forecast for tonight. Meteorologist Megan Hanna is going to be here first thing in the morning with your next update. And by the way, go ahead and give us a follow on Facebook and Twitter. You can see my handle there on X, Twitter X, Ken South WJTV. Just search for me there and give me a follow because every day we are updating our X accounts and our Facebook accounts with graphics that keep you apprised about what the weather, of course, is going to be like. So, all right, that'll do it for tonight, and I will see you tomorrow night. Have a good one.